What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you are a returning subscriber, then welcome back to you guys. Thank you guys all for being here. I get a ton of questions every day asking what happens when we open up and we're above our trigger prices. Okay, so we're going to go through that today in this video. I've done previous videos on this. We're going to talk about it again, okay, because I think it's really important, because a lot of people, when I give you setups like this inside bar right here, and we open way up here, people ask, what do I do? I'm lost. Do I still take the trade? We're going to go through all of that with you guys here today. And I want to tell you guys something here. So if you guys want to become successful in trading, be profitable, be consistent, you need to pick a strategy. You need to be consistent with that strategy. You can't be hopping around to here, to here, to here, to here, and picking and choosing all these different types of things to do. And I'm going to use the MACD and the RSI and EMA, excuse me, EMAs. And whether it's this strategy or not, whether it's the Strat or not, pick something. There's multiple different strategies that work multiple different ways. I personally believe this is the best strategy that you can use, and it's the easiest strategy to use because there really are no indicators. So we go through this. I want you guys to remember you need to study and you need to go through this stuff consistently, and there is no elevator to the top. There's no elevator that's going to get you to the top of the mountain. You got to take the stairs, and it's going to take longer. It is, but those little steps that you take are going to get you to the top, okay? Elevators break down. Stairs are there. Just climb them. And you might go slower. Some people run up those stairs. Okay? And sometimes we fall, but those stairs are going to get you to the top of that mountain. And I don't want you guys to be discouraged by seeing what other people put out there, because the bottom of your mountain is the top of somebody else's. Okay? Your top is somebody else's bottom, and somebody else's bottom is your top. So it works both ways, but climb the stairs, okay? And you will get there. But be consistent with this stuff and go through it and study it and make sure you guys know what you're doing and learn it, and you're going to become profitable and more consistent. So let's get started here, and I'm going to explain to you guys what happens with this stuff. So I'll show you a common theme. So when we break above our trigger or below our trigger, there's a strategy to play. You don't just have to say, I'm done for the day. What am I going to do? You don't have to do that, okay? And I want to go through these plays because they're all very, very similar today. And again, you're going to see that not all of them worked out, because no strategy is 100% foolproof. No strategy has zero risk. It's based off of probabilities. But if we go through and look at SPY, everything gapped up today. So SPY gapped up. Keurig Dr. Pepper gapped up above our triggers, opened way up here. DIA opened way up here above our triggers. You're going to see this. Fubo way up here. Plug way up here. CVX was one that opened inside, okay? QQQ gapped up. XOP opened inside. Apple gapped up. Amazon gapped up. AMD gapped up, okay? So let me go through and show you guys how to do these, okay? So once we found out that we gapped up in the morning on NEO, and we can go through every single play and do this. I'm not going to, because there's way too many, but NEO opened, and now that this is gone, so let me show you. NEO opened right there, okay? I'm just going to put that marker there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to create a different line, and we'll just make it blue, let's say. Okay, so we'll do that. We're going to make that line blue. That's where NEO opened up for us, okay? So now all we do, guys, once that gaps up, and you can do this on any time frame, realistically. The bigger the time frame, the better, the easier you're going to see the direction that the stock is going to go. I like to use the 15. A lot of people like to use the 30. I'm going to show you both. Okay, so now we go to the 15-minute chart after we found out that it gapped. Okay, so we had the gap up in the morning. Let's move that there. And we opened at 13.10. Okay? What we do, this is how we play them. Now I'm going to get rid of this yellow line. We now take the break of the first 15-minute bar. So we take the break to the bottom, or we take the break to the top. Okay, at this point when Neo opened, we were already, I think it was 6 or 7% when Neo opened here. Now I can get rid of this blue line. We take the break of the top or bottom bar. So the next 15 bar opens, 15-minute bar, and we break below it. You can jump into that trade. Now that's a trade that we can take. And what do? We mark off our targets. Okay, now we've marked off our targets on the 15-minute chart, and there we hit it. Okay, you hit a target. You hit a target. You hit a target. Okay, this was a winning trade, and that's essentially how you play this thing, guys. And realistically, you could have, if you're letting the candle stop you out, you could have taken this trade down to here and taken profit, got out here. But anywhere along here, you could have taken profit, and this was a winning trade for you. Whether you took profit way down here or, somewhere in this range when we hit the first 3 targets, this was a great trade for Neo. Now, let me show you guys something. SPY. First 15-minute bar, we triggered. Here's the first 15. We triggered, and we're down. You could have taken that trade for profit. Keurig Dr. Pepper. Now, here's an example that we can go through that's a little bit different. So we had an inside bar on the second 15-minute bar. So what do we do there? The exact same thing. We just moved to that inside bar now. Okay, because we didn't get a trigger off of this bar, the first 15-minute bar, we just go to the next bar, which is inside. Now we break to the downside, and we look for targets to be hit. And we hit this target. And if we go back in time, I'm sure there's another target here. But this is another winning trade on Keurig. Let's go to the diamonds, DIA. Hey, DIA. First 15-minute bar, we break, and that's a good trade. Fubo. This here, ladies and gentlemen, was not a good trade. And it's, again, that's the probability thing. Does it always work? No, it doesn't. And we break to the upside, and then we come all the way back down. I will point out, Fubo at this point was plus 15% or 13% on the day already when we opened. So for me, that's something that I would be very cautious of, being up 13%, especially in this market, that we're going to get a continuation higher than 15% in the day. Okay? Now, if you played it and lost, it's part of the game. Okay? It's trading is a business. That's part of the expenses of owning this business, is taking those losses. Now, how big that loss was is a different story. So Plug Power, here's another one. First 15-minute bar, we triggered, and there you go for profit. Another great win. CVX, this one opened inside. QQQ, here's another one. We triggered, and we went for targets. Okay, another win here. I'm not going to mark all these out. XOP, I think, opened inside. Yes, it did. Here's Apple. Here's another one. This one wouldn't have worked out. We had this double inside bar. We wait for the trigger. It's up and back through. That would have been your breaking point right there at 145.51 as it came through the other side. Okay, Amazon. This is another one. Would you have won? Maybe a little bit. Depends if you took your profit or not. I'd have to go back and find a profit target all the way to here. And again, if you follow the rules, there you go. You hit targets. There was our trigger, and there's our target, and back up. Okay? So again, Amazon, you should have taken profits on that if you were in it, according to this strategy. Here's another one. AMD. Okay? Triggered. Hit a bunch of targets. This was a good trade. So that's one way to play it, guys. The other way you can do it, I wouldn't go lower than 15. Some people go to the 5. Some people go to, the 10, whatever. The only other way I would play this is off of the 30. And if you played off of the 30 today, you made out like gangbusters. Is here's the first 30-minute bar. We triggered, and you took it all the way down to here. Winning trade. Look at SPY. 30-minute, we triggered all the way down. And I want to tell you something else on SPY as well. SPY opened, and we were at, again, 2.5%. And I always tell people they're looking to take trades on SPY with calls for it to go higher. And let me tell you something. I tell a lot of people this, and I mention a lot. SPY does not normally trade higher than 2.5% in a day. Not normally. There are days where it has. On the average, SPY does not trade above 2.5%. If it's at 2.5%, I would be looking for puts somewhere along the line. And we definitely got that today on SPY. If you would have played puts off the open, you would have done very, very well. Because at 2.5%, there's two very likely scenarios. One, that it goes back down lower than 2.5%, or it just chops around that area all day. The chances of it going higher than 2.5% are not very, very good. You might get to 2.6, 2.7, but it's going to come back down. Okay? In most cases, probabilities tell us that. Okay, so this was the play on SPY off of the 30-minute. Really good win there. Keurig Dr. Pepper off of the 30, you would have had a win. We had this 2 up that finished green. Then we had this 2 down, inside bar, 2 down, inside bar, and out for a good trade. Then we had this one off of the 30 for the DIA. Good trade. The 30 off of Fubo. A really good trade. The 30 off of Plug. A really good trade. You guys would have won on almost any trade that we looked at. This was CVX. QQQ. 30-minute. Boom. Excuse me. XOP opened inside. Apple off the 30-minute. Boom. Amazon off the 30-minute. Boom. Every single one of these plays, guys. AMD. First 30-minute bar. Then we have this inside shooter candle. Boom. Okay. Successful trades because we're following the strategies. Walt Disney wouldn't have worked on the 30. That's your first failed one. EW. Boom. Like, these are fantastic trades to get into if you know what you're doing, if you know the strategies, guys. And go to the end of this video. In the top right-hand corner, I'm going to put a playlist there for you guys to learn how to play the gaps even more than what's on this video. So that playlist will be at the top right. The bottom right will be a playlist to learn just more about the strat and what we teach, and get into a little bit more depth on how to get into trades, how to get out of trades, and how to manage trades. I wish you guys green every single day. I'm on Twitter. You can follow me there. The Griswold Trading Discord is in the link in the description below, as well as a free 30-day trial to TradingView. Get that in the link in the description below as well. We will see you guys all on the next one. Check out those playlists, and bye-bye. You make my heart beat super fast.